Hello, my name is Jimmy and this is the brand new Defender. Okay, it's not brand new, it's been around for a little bit now, but I finally got my hands on one. This is the Defender 90, so the short stubby one. You also got the 110 as well as the newer 130. This is the P400, so middle of the engine lineup. So it's not the V8, the one that a lot of people are kind of interested in, and it's not the P300, which is, well, the little 2-liter turbo 4. It's a very well-rounded package, but as equipped here, it might not be as much because of all the other accessories that you get on it. But I'll tell you all about it in this video, including how child seats fit. But before we get to any of that, let's talk about looks. The Defender looks like a Land Rover should, doesn't it? It's very upright on the front. You got really beautiful headlamps, and it just is a good kind of macho look on the front. I actually like this kind of louvered thing that they have on the hood here. The vinyl 90 that's on the hood, that is part of the Explorer pack that we have on here. Moving on to the side, we can see that, well, the front bumper overhang is actually quite minimal. That helps a lot with the approach angle. These are 20-inch wheels. They don't look that big in pictures, but believe me, this is a pretty big truck. You got 20-inch wheels with AT tires. Because this does have the Explorer pack, I do have a snorkel here. This snorkel is for sand and debris, not so much for water, but it can still wade almost 3 feet of water, so it's actually pretty crazy. Above, I do have the roof rack, once again, part of the Explorer pack. As it is the 90, well, the wheelbase is about this big, not too long. And then out back, the back end here is very straight, so that helps with the departure angle. We do have the spare tire on here, the very iconic tail lamps on the side. I mean, it's a very good looking vehicle, but some may say that the Defender is not so much a Defender anymore. It doesn't strike the old Defender. It's not body on frame. It's not, well, just panels that kind of stacked on. This is more like the Discovery, and I can understand that. However, very similar to the Defender, we don't have a lot of space here. If we open up this tailgate, we get 10 cubic feet of space, relatively small. But I do like this tailgate because I can have it at any position and it'll stay there. It's actually really, really cool. And it has soft closing, so I can just push it against and it'll close itself. Why not? But let's head to the inside. All right, as it is the Defender 90, I only have 2 doors, or 3 if you count the rear one. So getting into those rear seats, you do have to fold them up, and there's a button here that I can press, which will slowly whirl this seat in front so I can get access to the rear. Getting to the rear seats, I mean, it's not any more difficult than any 2-door vehicle would be. I'm 5'11" and I got plenty of headroom. Legroom is also really good as well. Got the armrest on the side. It's actually really comfortable. And because I have that stadium seating, I'm actually quite high in the rear seats and I get a really good view out. Not only from the side windows, but also these little windows on the top. The only thing is, because this has Explorer pack, well, I have this casing on the outside, and that does block visibility, well, quite a bit for myself and the driver. Anytime you want a shoulder check, well, you just get this. Luckily, you do get relatively large mirrors. If you're fitting child seats in here, well, it's capable of doing so. As you can see, I got a Kleck Fünf here in rear facing behind the driver. It's the best place I can put that child seat simply because I can lower down the passenger side seats and have access to this child seat. So I've been loading my child through the trunk because, well, it's just easier than through this door. But it is capable. However, you know, if you have kids, you're probably looking at the 110 or the 130, probably not this. However, if you have younger child and you're looking for an infant seat, you can do that too, not a problem. Here's a Kleck Ling on the passenger side here. It definitely wasn't the easiest getting the Ling in through the driver's door, so I once again used the trunk. It was definitely easier. But let's move up to the front seats. All right, as for the front seats, well, they're very easy to get in and out of because this specific vehicle has air ride and I have it all the way down. So me at 5'11", I can just slide right in. The seats themselves are heated. They're pretty comfortable, I would say. They're not like the most firm seat or anything like that, but decently comfortable. they have enough bolstering for everyday needs, but nothing too aggressive. But it's a Defender. You're not, carving mountains in this. Well, maybe you are, but in a more off-road sense than, well, on-road sense. Anyways, in front of me, a pretty large steering wheel, but it has all the buttons that you need to control the cluster as well as the infotainment itself. But it actually works pretty well. And the heated steering wheel, it's actually really, really good. It gets very, very warm very quick. And the temperature as it is here in Vancouver, definitely appreciate that. Behind a full digital cluster, it looks great and it's quite customizable. However, when you're in the menus, it's a little laggy and it's a little slow. That being said, you're not going to be in the menu most of the time, so I think that's okay. I don't have a heads-up display, but I do have a really nice infotainment screen here in the center. This is the newer infotainment system from Land Rover. I mean, it works great. The icons, they are all very, very pretty. The only thing is, it is laggy at times. Not all the time, just randomly. Not sure why, but it does have Android Auto and CarPlay, but you do have to bring your cable along with you. On lesser trims, you have a smaller screen rather than this larger curved one, but the menu systems are very, very similar. Overall, no problems with that. Same thing with all the climate controls and everything that you have underneath. It's just easily accessible. Sure, to go into like the drive menu, you have to press a button and then turn, but I don't think it's that bad. Your climate control is readily available, and that's the thing that you're gonna be using most of the time anyways. For, well, the terrain response, you can just leave that on auto and let it do its thing. I mean, overall, this interior is actually pretty nice. You got soft touch materials in places that you expect, but this isn't the base model. This is quite high end. Reaching almost $100,000, you kind of expect this to be nice. And honestly, like I said, it is. Before we go out for a drive, like I said, this is the P400 model, which means it has a 3-liter inline 6, 395 horsepower going to all 4 wheels. Obviously, it is a Land Rover after all. There's a base P300, which makes 296 horsepower, and there's also the P525, that supercharged V8, making 518 horsepower. Honestly speaking, this P400 is the engine of choice. The P300, yes, it's a 2-liter, but if you're looking at fuel economy numbers, it basically is just a little bit better than this, not by much. In real world, I'm sure you can get better economy with this, the P400, than the 300. And you'll probably get better resale on it as well. But anyways, let's go for a drive and see how it feels like on, well, everyday roads. All right, on the road with the Defender. What's nice about the Defender is, well, where you're gonna be spending most of your time, on the road, the Defender is very plush. It's very comfortable, and it just drives like a regular car should. It's agile. It's everything that you expect. It's not like, well, a Wrangler where you're trading off a lot of things for those off-road capabilities. This still has all of that, but you're still, well, just driving a regular car. And that's what's great about the Defender. It's not because it's, the most capable on-road or off-road, but it's the most pleasant to be in every single day. And let's be honest, when you're spending this kind of money, you're not going to be taking this off-road every day. You might take it out, on a weekends, every now and then. Enjoy your time. But you're still spending a lot of that on-road. And that's exactly where this Defender shines. And the motor that's in this P400, made it to that ZF 8-speed. It's terrific. It's smooth in its power delivery. And because it has that 48-volt mild hybrid system, the start-stop also works really, really well. It actually makes a decent sound, because if I floor it, it's not bad at all. And what's nice is because there's a snorkel right there, I hear all that induction noise, that vacuum right here on the upper left. And it's just a cool noise that you don't, well, generally hear in any other vehicle. The air suspension on this is super plush. It's very, very comfortable, and there's no sport mode for you to find. There's a million and one, not really, but there's a million and one off-road modes to, to cater for whatever, rocky, sandy situation that you may encounter, but no sport mode here. But overall, like I said, it's just a good, pleasant experience. And on the highway, it's quiet. The only thing is you get a little bit of wind noise, but it's not because of the vehicle. It's because of this roof rack, as well as that box on the side. I just hear wind rustling through those items. If you don't get the Explorer pack, well, you won't have that as an issue. You just get a very pleasant driving experience. The only thing that's a little weird is, well, I have a button here that can help me stay within the lane, and that does work well, but I don't have adaptive cruise control. It was kind of weird when I set the cruise control and the vehicle in front of me was getting closer. I got a little worried. At this price point, I mean, come on, you know, give me adaptive cruise control. Stuff like that is available in like $20,000, $30,000 cars, and this almost $100,000. I don't get that. It's kind of crazy. Overall, this Defender 90 has everything that you need. At 96,000 Canadian dollars, it has every single package that you really could want. Tow package, air suspension package, cold climate package, Explorer package. I mean, it's all there. A base Defender 90, that's 69,000 Canadian dollars. So you can just imagine exactly, well, how much has stacked onto here. If you're really looking at a Defender 90, you don't have to have all of these things. You don't have to have all these packages. Get the things that you do really need. Maybe not this Explorer package that I have here. Personally, I just don't think it's that worth it, but it does look cool. I'm not gonna lie, it does look very, very cool. It's a very good package. I mean, overall, as a vehicle on daily basis, as well as, you know, going outdoors and having those types of adventure, there's nothing that can beat a Defender 90. Sure, a Wrangler can do probably like 90%, if not all the things that this can do. Same thing with the Bronco, but you're just not gonna be as comfortable every single day. You are in this. And, you know, when you pull up to a fancy hotel, well, the badge itself, it allows the valet to park this vehicle in the front, not around the back. And that's something. In any case, thank you so much for watching this video. Like the video if you do, subscribe if you want to see more, and we'll catch you next time. Take care.